Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Naomi and I'm back for a counterpart reading because today or yesterday, depending on where you are in the world, Venus finally stationed direct. And Venus has been retrograde since May, I believe the 13th of May. And Venus is the planet of love, and now she's back on track, basically. So I thought it would be a fine moment to do a counterpart reading, which entails twin flame, divine counterpart, anybody you're dealing with, anybody you are in separation with or in a relationship with, of course on the level of love, romance, relationships, but it could also be about friendships, because if you're on this healing journey, it doesn't really matter how you define or label a relationship. Everybody in your life is gonna be a lesson or a challenge or an opportunity to uplift yourself, to grow, and to heal. So let's just see, now that Venus is back, stationing direct, what that could mean in our relationships. And this is a very general reading, so take the messages however they resonate with your situation, your desires, and your needs at this moment. I am, by the way, using my crystal tarot because this deck usually brings up more messages around spirituality, love, connections. So I thought that would be suitable. So I have the King of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Cups in reverse. So that to me tells that there's still a lot of pain that needs to be resolved. A lot of pain around, so I have the Ten of Swords, which means painful endings. And the Ten of Cups in reverse, usually when it's upright, it's about harmonious, fulfilling relationships, happiness within our relationships, but now it's reversed. And then the King of Swords. So what I'm getting is that a lot of things around lost relationships, painful endings, painful words, painful actions from maybe your counterpart, maybe from you. Either way are still kind of in between you and the person you're dealing with. Standing in between, coming together, standing or kind of asking still for healing. And now that we are moving forward with Venus and within our relationships, this is an opportunity for us to start healing our relationships and the pain from the past, hurtful things that have been said, hurtful things that have been done between you guys. Like I said, often when you are on this healing journey, a lot of your relationships are going to reflect your trauma. So people are going to trigger your trauma, and our initial response and reaction is often to blame the other person. But the core lesson of the twin flame journey or the healing journey that you are on probably is to always take responsibility and accountability for your own emotions, for the reasons behind why certain words, certain actions of others are harmful and hurtful, why you are triggered. And often there's trauma beneath that, like abandonment issues, just not having that loving family home life as an example. Things like that often have wounded us unconsciously. So the relationships in our lives often reflect these wounds. So I'm also getting that this period brings in opportunity to like start setting things right, start healing things, and also kind of like speaking our truth more in what it is that hurts us. 5 of Swords. And just basically not being in that energy anymore of trying to please everyone around you just in order to keep a relationship, in order to find a relationship. Being more authentic to ourselves. King of Swords. Being more authentic to you, to your own truth. And becoming more resilient. Becoming more resilient of painful encounters with people around you, and just basically telling them sooner what it is that you need and how they can take your feelings into account in a better way in order to maybe restore relationships, maybe restore the bond between you and the other person. 4 of Wands, 2 of Wands. Really deciding for ourselves how we want to move forward, which way we want to go into, with whom, into building a more stable foundation, a more harmonious family, home life, and kind of like figuring out if the other person that comes to mind, probably the reason why you switched on this reading, if that is still the person you want to move forward with, you still want to deal with, because I have a lot of cutting off energy here in the cards. Like, you want a stable home, you want a reliable counterpart, and with the King of Swords and the 5 of Swords and the 2 of Wands, you're kind of in between figuring out if that person is really actually able to give that to you on a short notice, and you're kind of like realizing that maybe the time has come to cut things off, to move on, towards manifesting what it is you want for yourself. And you're kind of done with the other person hurting you. So often in, like, this is my twin flame card, but it could also be any type of like soulmate, counterpart. Somebody you saw or see a future with, somebody you wanted more, create balance and something stable with. Often, like I said, especially if you're on the twin flame journey, that other person is going to trigger you in so many ways, and it's not always meant to be like that. Was the contract your souls kind of like made with each other, like, okay, we're gonna go through all these cycles together, like clear karma, trigger each other, and chase and run each other, run after each other, run away from each other, and basically hurt each other. But often one of the two who is kind of like more evolved on the spiritual path, more evolved on the inner growth, the inner work, spiritual work, is kind of like getting to a point where enough is enough. And more often than not, it's not always supposed or meant to be that you guys end up together. More often than not, it's more about the soul lessons that you can kind of like retrieve from the whole experience. And you're now kind of figuring out for yourself what it is you actually really want, and who is gonna basically bring in that stability, and you're kind of in doubt if that is still your counterpart, the person that you probably have been dealing with for quite a while right now. So I'm gonna clarify the Five of Swords here, Knight of Pentacles, and the Moon card. So yeah, you are really on the verge of like cutting things off with your person for good. And this doesn't have to mean like if you're in no contact, you can do this energetically. You can cut cords energetically. And you are really coming to that point that you're like, there is not enough. So I have the Moon card and the Knight of Pentacles. It's going too slow. It's going too slow, and there's not enough show, like a display of who they truly are. Like the Moon is very reflective of things being hidden, feelings under the current that are not expressed. In this case, that's what I'm getting. And the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow energy. Like that person is kind of like bringing in something. So it could be that there's still, you know, a chance that the person is going to come forward if you're in separation, or that they're going to show more of themselves, that they're going to, you know, actually offer you something that looks like that stability and, you know, fulfilling relationship, commitment maybe even, but it's taking a very long time. That's what I'm getting. So you're really on that point of like, is it ever going to happen? Or did we try all we could, basically? Did we try all we could? Yeah. So with that Ten of Cups in reverse as well, like you're on a crossroad in like, yeah, definitely ending something and then pulling in what you actually do deserve. Pulling in relationships and people that can bring in that, you know, foundation stability. Or maybe you just want to focus on building something for yourself, like, you know, starting projects, starting your own business, changing jobs, something that brings in more stability and more fulfillment on a creative level, and not really like, there's no cups here, like, yeah, except the Ten of Cups, but in reverse. Like it's almost as if this whole thing is really coming to an end, because you've tried, and you also have grown and you've learned what you deserve. So these messages could also be reversed. So it could be the other person who's kind of done waiting for you watching this video. Just take them however they resonate with your situation, like I said in the beginning. Yeah, so the King of Cups in reverse. So there's not a lot of expression of love or feelings, emotions yet. Maybe with that Knight of Pentacles, they're coming. But then when they come forward, so maybe when your person reaches out to you, it's gonna be very superficial still. It's not gonna be very deep. It's not gonna be like, you know, wearing their heart on their sleeve. That's the right way to put it. King of Cups in reverse, yeah. Any other message here? Nine of Cups, so that's nice, but also Nine of Cups upright, a very single energy. So what I'm getting here, the message is for you watching this, just try to enjoy your life as it is right now, and kind of focus on your own, focus on how far you have come, how much you have grown already, and kind of like celebrate that. You know, give yourself some, what's the word? You can like celebrate, give yourself some recognition. So maybe you have been waiting for that other person to kind of like come back to you or reach out or tell you how they really feel, but I'm not really getting that that is happening really soon. And for you, it would just be best to focus on your own, focus on what you have achieved so far, how far you have come, and maybe you realizing that you don't need another person in order to find happiness, find fulfillment, and find stability and safety, security, and like this home environment. You can create that for yourself. And once you have kind of accepted wherever you are on your journey in life by yourself, if you can find that happiness from within, then you're going to attract people and situations that reflect that inner state of happiness and love. But as long as you're gonna depend and focus on that other person to come forward, to give you, offer you something, offer you their heart, offer you, you know, their truth, then it's not gonna come. That's kind of like how the whole law of attraction works. Like once you don't desperately need or want something anymore, so you have to have the desire but not be needy. And because if you're too needy, it's not gonna come. But once you kind of like detach from the outcome, detach from how things are gonna come towards you, but just focus on the energy. So just focus on what it is you want for yourself, like love, harmony, but not focus on that one person, then it will come in. That's how the law of attraction works. So you have to detach from your expectations, what it is you want that person to say, what it is exactly you want another person to do for you in order to show you their love or any other type of appreciation. The Emperor and the Six of Pentacles. Emperor and the Six of Pentacles. So the Emperor is a very masculine energy, and what I'm getting here is that to speak in terms of divine masculine collective, divine feminine collective, as for the masculines, they are seeking balance in the outer material world, still really trying to figure out everything that's going on in their lives and how to create more balance, how to create a stronger foundation even before they can move towards the feminine or towards something more in alignment with their heart, with their feelings. So it's all still, very material for the divine masculines in that regard. Focused on creating balance. A lot of Pentacles. Also focused on their home life, figuring out what it is they want, getting over lost relationships. All right, let's see if any other cards pop up. Otherwise, I'm gonna... One more. Five of Wands. So, still Five of Swords, Five of Wands. A lot of conflict, mental conflict going on, inner conflict going on. So there's still, you know, we do have the Six of Pentacles, but I'm not really getting like coming back into harmony anytime soon. So that is not maybe not the message you were waiting for. But like I said, try to seize that opportunity in order to focus more on yourself, on your self-growth, on your spiritual growth. I mean, being single, if you are, is a great time and opportunity to grow and to focus on who you truly are, what you truly want for yourself, and to come from that kind of balanced and neutral state of mind in order to pull in more positive situations. And you know, just a great opportunity to heal and focus on yourself. So death in reverse could be that you're still kind of resisting the changes that are going on in your life, but you have to find that trust that everything eventually will balance out, no matter if it is with that other person, if it is with your counterpart, or with somebody completely new. But when you resist what is kind of inevitably shifting and changing for you, and you don't really embrace everything that comes to you, and you see it as something that happens to you, you're gonna create friction for yourself. So that's gonna create tension. So I think that's the reason why I have these fives, which are usually like about conflict, obstacles, standing in your way of your personal growth, of your spiritual growth. So what I'm getting is choose you, choose yourself, choose your path, and try to let go of the resistance you feel towards where it is you're kind of being pushed towards on a spiritual level, if that makes sense. So focusing on yourself is the best thing to do right now, and not focus too much on when is that person coming in, when is that person gonna reach out, when is that person gonna open up more, because they have their own conflicts going on mentally, their own issues working through them, and kind of figuring out how to create more balance. And if you're not balanced within, you're not going to be able to offer something balanced towards another person, towards you, or the other way around, like I said. So for both parties, it's very important to create a balanced inner world and focus on your own healing, focus on how far you have come on this journey, and just kind of like set out for yourself how you want to move forward and with whom, if you really want to keep focusing on a certain person, or maybe just break it off. Like I said before, you can also break it off energetically. That is, for me, has been very helpful. Just cutting ties. I do this every morning. I do this every day. I cut the cords, cut the ties with everybody, because if you're on this path, you have already so much to deal with for yourself. Everything that comes up, everything you are seeking to find, create balance, temperance with, it's already so much. So especially if you're also like kind of trying to resist changes too much, it's gonna really bring up just mental conflict. So focus on your own healing, because that's already enough, and then things will start moving forward. Then you will seize everything that you are wishing for, everything the world and the universe has to offer, because it is waiting for you. It is waiting for you. But there's just some blockages right now, mentally mostly. Some mindset, like a mindset that needs to shift, and some like energetic cords that need to be released. And like I said, I do this every day because we already have enough to deal with from ourselves by ourselves. And of course you can always help other people, but what we often don't realize is that we're also connected on an energetic level. So people can also drain you even when they're not around. So when you overthink about another person, that's probably because they're also thinking about you. But also it could mean that there's a cord between you guys, and can be very draining. Like if you, a lot of like our energy and oxygen goes towards our mind, and we all know how our minds can overthink and repeat situations that aren't even real. So cutting cords can really help with that. And I will put a link in the description that is very powerful. It's a reiki healing for cutting cords. So if you are interested in this, then yeah, check it out. All right, last card, last but not least, again, the Ten of Swords in reverse. So yeah, for some of us, it's really time to move on. It's really time to move on and try to get out of that waiting energy, waiting for another person to come around, for another person to see you, to express their love for you. You have waited long enough, and it's only causing, like, for yourself, stagnation and obstacles on your journey. So focusing on yourself is not selfish, just moving towards that bright future that is in play for you. All right, I think that was it. Yeah. And if you made it through, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you soon.